At the core of cryptocurrencies is the idea of self-sovereignty, the notion that a user can act as their own bank. Secure your funds properly, and they'll be harder to reach than even the most well-guarded of bank vaults. Fail to do so, and you run the risk of someone remotely emptying your digital wallet. Learning to secure your digital coins properly is a vital step as you journey down the cryptocurrency rabbit hole. It's not just all about storage either. Nowadays, many cryptocurrency holders interact in the DeFi world, so you should also learn how to use your coins securely. Just like you wouldn't allow an untrustworthy business to handle your money, you also shouldn't trust your coins with any random website. The same goes for exchanges where you purchase and trade crypto. In this guide, we'll discuss some of the best techniques for keeping your crypto assets safe wherever they are. How to secure your account. If you signed up for your exchange or chosen trading method, follow standard good practices to keep your account safe. These tips are no different from those you would use for your online bank account or other sensitive information. Preventing people from getting access to your account and its funds is easy by 1. Using a strong password you regularly change. The password shouldn't include identifiable personal information like your date of birth, for example. Make sure it's also long, is unique to that account, and contains symbols, numbers, and lowercase and uppercase letters. 2. Enabling two-factor authentication 2FA. If your password is compromised, 2FA using your mobile device, authenticator app, or UBIKey acts as a second level of protection. You need to use both your password and the 2FA method together when logging in. 3. Watching out for phishing attacks and scams via email, social media, and private messages. Fraudsters frequently impersonate exchanges and trusted individuals to try and steal your funds. You also shouldn't download software from unknown sources as it may contain malware. What is a private key? A private key, like a real key, unlocks your cryptocurrency for you to spend. Keeping your private key and access to it safe is the most important part of your overall security. The key is just a really long number so large that it would be impossible for anyone to guess. If you flip a coin 256 times and write down 1 for heads, 0 for tails, you'll end up with a private key. The number of possible private keys is close to the number of atoms in the known universe. In a nutshell, this is a vital security principle in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Your coins are safe because they're hidden in a brain-meltingly large range. If you've received funds before, you'll be familiar with public addresses, which are also strings of random-looking numbers. Those are obtained by doing some cryptographic magic on your private key to get a public key, which is hashed to get the public address. We won't get into depth on how this is done in this article. All you need to know is that, while it's easy to generate a public address with a private key, doing the reverse is impossible today. That's why you can safely list your public address on blogs, social media, etc. No one can spend the funds sent to it without the corresponding private key. If you lose your private key, you lose access to your funds. If someone else learns your key, they can spend those funds. As a result, keeping your private key away from prying eyes is of paramount importance. Seed phrases. You should note that wallets today rarely have just one private key. They're hierarchical deterministic HD wallets, meaning they can hold billions of different keys. All you need to know is a seed phrase, a collection of human-readable words that can be used to generate those keys. Unless you deliberately choose to use only one private key, you'll probably be asked to back up a seed phrase when you create a new wallet. When we discuss key storage later, the term keys will be used interchangeably to describe both private keys and seeds. Your 12, 18, or 24-word seed phrase is extremely important to keep secure and safe. Anyone who has access to the phrase can import your keys into their wallet and steal your funds. You may also have a JSON file or individual private keys that act the same as a seed phrase. Think extremely carefully about how you manage your keys by following our tips below. 1. Keeping your seed phrase saved on a device connected to the internet isn't recommended. If you download a virus or your computer is hacked and controlled remotely, your phrase can be compromised. 2. Offline storage is much more secure. You could store the phrase physically or on an offline device. Even if you have a cold storage device that we'll discuss later, you should also back up the key if your device breaks. 3. If you decide to store your phrase physically, think about the material you'll use and where you'll keep it. Writing the words on a piece of paper that can be destroyed or easily lost at home isn't a good idea. You might want to use a safety deposit box in a secure location or store the phrase with your bank. Some people will even engrave their seed phrase onto metal as it can't be easily destroyed, or use metal letters on a seed board. Common scams and how to avoid them. Blackmail works by scammers either finding or fabricating sensitive information about you and leveraging that information to force you into a position to send them Bitcoin or other forms of money. The best way to avoid scammers blackmailing you out of your Bitcoins is to be careful with selecting your login credentials, which sites you visit online, and who you give your information to. It's also wise to use two-factor authentication whenever possible. If the information they blackmail you with is false and you know it, you may be in the clear. Fake giveaways are most commonly found on Twitter and other social media platforms, where scammers latch onto popular tweets, viral news, or announcements like a protocol upgrade or an upcoming ICO. The best way to avoid fake giveaway scams is to never participate in any kind of giveaway where you're required to send something of value first. Legitimate giveaways will never ask for funds. Social media phishing is a common Bitcoin scam that, like fake giveaways, you'll most likely find on social media. Scammers will create an account that looks like someone with a high level of authority in the crypto space. This is also known as impersonation. Next, they will offer fake giveaways via tweets or by direct chat messages. The best way to avoid being scammed through social media phishing is double-checking the person is actually who they say they are. There are usually indicators of this on certain social media platforms, like blue check marks on Twitter and Facebook. Copy and paste malware is a very sneaky way for scammers to steal your funds. This type of malware hijacks your clipboard data, and if you aren't careful, you will send money directly to scammers. To avoid this type of scam, you need to be very careful with your computer security. Be wary of suspicious messages or emails that may contain infected attachments or dangerous links. Pay attention to the websites you browse and to the software you install on your device. You should also consider installing an antivirus and scanning for threats regularly. It's also important to keep your device's operating system OS up to date. There are several types of phishing. One of the most common involves the use of phishing emails that try to trick you into downloading an infected file or clicking a link that leads you to a malicious website that appears to be legitimate. These emails are particularly dangerous when they imitate a product or service you use frequently. Usually, scammers will include a message asking you to take urgent action to secure your account or funds. They might ask you to update your account information, reset your password, or upload documents. In most cases, their goal is to collect your login credentials to try and hack your account. The first step to avoiding phishing email scams is to check if the emails are coming from the original source. If in doubt, you could also contact the company directly to confirm the email you received was from them. Second, you can hover over the email links without clicking to check whether the URLs have misspellings, unusual characters, or other irregularities. Ransomware is a type of malware that either locks victims' mobile or computer devices or prevents them from accessing valuable data unless a ransom is paid, usually in BTC. These attacks can be particularly destructive when aimed at hospitals, airports, and government agencies. Typically, the ransomware will block access to important files or databases and threaten to delete them if the payment is not received before the deadline. But unfortunately, there is no guarantee that the attackers will honor their promise. If you found this article useful, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also visit our website, where you find great educational contents about cryptocurrency. As a member of our Cryptocurrency Academy, you'll have access to exclusive resources and tools to help you stay informed and make better trading decisions. Additionally, discover and join our Discord. Our Discord server will provide a supportive network of like-minded individuals who can provide guidance, advice, and encouragement.